We all remember, many of us remember the disaster that was the 2016 Ghostbusters, the movie that simultaneously wanted you all to believe that um, they really love Ghostbusters, but they wanted to stand on their own. They wanted you to pay to see Ghostbusters because they were all whamming, making queef jokes. That was essentially the movie. It was an abomination. And really, the CGI was probably the worst part about it. It looked like Haunted Mansion. It looked super like low budget and cringy. And then came Ghostbusters Afterlife, a faithful continuation of the Ghostbusters storyline, with plenty of pros and cons, just enough member berries for us original Ghostbusters fans to enjoy it, with a throwback to Harold Ramis being there, and overall a fine movie. I'm not going to say it was anywhere near as good as the first Ghostbusters, but at least it was faithful to the original fans. Now today, I didn't even know they were putting out a sequel, but Ghostbusters Frozen Empire came out, and I got to admit, the first, I don't know, minute of the trailer looked awesome. It did. Dark, dreary, ominous, with pictures of like an actual big bad. Then it cut to the kids, and I was like, oh yeah, yeah, Stranger Things kid. And then it cut to perhaps the worst part about it, which we're going to get into, by the way, right now. Reminder, today we have rolled out our winter collection over on coffeebrandcoffee.com. I'm going to leave a link in the description, of course. Our peppermint hot cocoa, that's real cacao. Make it with milk. Enjoy it as a more refined, delicious cocoa. It's not going to taste like that sugar icicle to the brain with all the artificial sweeteners that you might get at the grocery store. And then we have peppermint mocha of vanilla sugar cookie coffees, as well as a brand new, if you like dark roast, you're definitely going to want to try this, our Silent Night Silky Dark Roast. It is ridiculously good. I may bring it on as an all-time flavor because it's that good. It's our darkest roast ever, and it's so smooth. Promo code November Flavor will also save you 10% off today. Remember, these flavors are limited time. Now, the first Ghostbusters Afterlife 2 trailer has finally dropped, revealing the official title of the next ghost hunting adventure. The legacy sequel, 2 years after Ghostbusters Afterlife, established Spengler's family and close friends as the next generation of ghost hunters. Now, I don't like that they're stupid little kids. The fact that these kids are carrying around the proton packs is already immersion breaking enough for me. But it's fine. I understand the show's not for me. The movie is for the kids of people who grew up watching Ghostbusters. That's who this is for. Parents get a few member berries. Kids get to see dorky kids that are pushing and everything right now. All that kind of stuff. So you have in the upcoming installment Finn Wolfhard, who's from Stranger Things, and a bunch of other people. Paul Rudd return in their respective roles alongside the original Ghostbusters cast members Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and Ernie Hudson, which I thought, first of all, was awesome. The fact that they had the original cast back, but I know better. In the trailer, which we're going to take a little look at, but they've been really claim happy. In the trailer, it's really cool, I think. I love the look. There's the fight for New York again. Everything's kind of back in the original. You can see the comments, overwhelmingly positive. Love how it seems to be merging the original and new cast better as a very fresh new threat. Finally, a Ghostbusters movie that appears to bring the original cast back. I'm so excited. See, everybody, this is what happens when you actually care about the original fandom. And in this trailer, people are going to dump on stuff or whatever. That's fine. But I do think that, ultimately, this is a trailer that looks pretty awesome. I mean, you end up with I got to block out some of the music because I'm sure they'll get claimed. So it starts out like they're just kind of going through the hot summer, like, you know, it's hot, it's in New York, you know, nothing really to see here. They're opening up the fire hydrant to cool everybody off. They're at the park, you know, everyone's at the beach, not much to talk about here, you know, very diverse, blah, 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 blah. Now they're on this ride. You can see off in the horizon, there's a storm brewing, and then things kind of switch. So the first like 25 seconds are kind of this, like establishing this kind of, ominous thing. And then you see the music cuts. It gets ominous. And the storm rolls in, and you see all these icicles bursting up. I mean, very, very cool, I think. It brings me back, you know, a lot to the original. I hope they're not talking about the climate crisis. Let's put it that way. Then it comes right up to the firehouse where that then freezes.
For the first time in New York history, people froze to death in the middle of July.
The voiceover there doesn't really work for me. Again, so when you have this storm moving in, all this kind of stuff, it looks awesome. I think it looks cool. Everything's freezing. Then it cuts to the kids, and I remember, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a kid movie. Which, again, doesn't make it bad. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make it bad. And, you know, yes, the cast is, of course, modern day, you know, super diverse, all this kind of stuff. But, again, you're about to see something very, very bad. And then you have Kumail Nanjiani, which is like, ugh, great. Here you have Dan Aykroyd.
The death chill.
The death chill.
The power to kill by fear itself. Your veins turn to rivers of ice. Your bones crack.
Right there, I think you're seeing here the big bad. By the way, Dan Aykroyd kind of didn't deliver this voiceover very good. I wanted to have some more energy when he's talking about your veins turn to rivers of ice. Like when they're in the mayor's office in the original. Like there's no, but do you see this guy's like putting his horns on?
Crack.
That's pretty cool. Then I hate this. Now the mom's a Ghostbuster. Like, give me a break. Like, I don't like, you already have like Paul Rudd as kind of the cringe goofball, you know? But like, now we have the mom like as a leading Ghostbuster. Like, you couldn't find anybody else. The reason the original Ghostbusters worked is because they were all like scientists and into it, right? Now it's just anybody, just as long as you have a proton pack, you're a Ghostbuster. Like, I don't care for that. But again, it is what it is.
You see.
And then you get Patton Oswalt, which is pure garbage. Again, Hollywood. I mean, why don't you just put Will Wheaton in here too?
Is your own tear ducts freezing up?
Like, literally scared to death? So cool.
Ha! Goofy. Goofy. So I like the aesthetic of it. And then here you see this is a really cool, but again, this really feels like it's borrowing from Stranger Things, the aesthetic, but you see kind of here the big bad at the end. Like that's definitely cool. But the mom as the Ghostbuster, I don't care for that. Again, why not just make Will Wheaton a Ghostbuster too? To me, you know, the reaction, I think it looks cool. And again, I think the movie will do fine in the theater and will be faithful to the original. But like, I'm not really feeling, it's got like such good elements of stuff that could be awesome. But it's also got a lot of like garbage tier. And then, of course, you see what's number one trending, Patton Oswalt. Everybody absolutely hates that Patton Oswalt is in this movie. You see, Neurotic was okay until Patton Oswalt shows up. A friendly reminder that Patton Oswalt unalived his wife. Patton Oswalt has done terrible things. I mean, every time, so, essentially Patton Oswalt here, didn't he pass away? The cut from Patton Oswalt going to "That's so cool" to Finn Wolfhard with a proton pack is a 1-2 punch of bad in a movie trailer that looks like a movie no one remembers from the year 2018. On the fence about the new Ghostbusters, love that it takes place in NYC, loved Afterlife, do not love Patton Oswalt. Yeah, I just, Hollywood keeps cramming these fake geeks down our throats. Patton Oswalt, Will Wheaton, all these people. Like, I don't care. I don't like Patton Oswalt. Patton Oswalt doesn't like us. The fandom. He's had some heinous tweets before in the past. He's not well liked. Why? I don't know why this guy keeps getting work. Could have done without Patton Oswalt. Like, everybody says that. Like, cool trailer. No Patton Oswalt, please. And like, again, there's not a lot to roast here other than the fact that everyone hates Patton Oswalt. This movie is not for adult fans of the original Ghostbusters. I guarantee you we probably saw everything. We saw all of the parts probably that feature the original Ghostbusters cast. They're gonna member Barry bait us, and they're gonna be in like 2 minutes of the movie. And you're gonna have, the Woman is now leading the Ghostbusters. We already have one goofball in Paul Rudd, which is kind of immersion breaking. I didn't need Patton Oswalt and Kumail Nanjiani too. This is very common in Hollywood. They just grab all these actors and throw them in a movie and hope it sticks. I'm not a fan of Patton Oswalt or the casting, but this movie's not for me. It'd be for my potential kids. I still think that the movie will be fine. You can't escape the parallels to Stranger Things based on just the aesthetics and the character, but at least it's not, saying, hey, pay to see my movie because of Whammon now, I suppose. I don't know. What do you think about the movie? You think you're going to see it? I'm probably not going to see it just simply because of Patton Oswalt. We got to teach Hollywood a lesson that like enough is enough cramming this guy into our beloved movies. He's basically equivalent of like put a woman in it and make it lame and make her gay and lame. He's basically a lesbian, isn't he?